Okay, so I've owned this vehicle for about 2-3 years now, and looking back retrospect, I came a long way with this thing. You know, I'm just making this video right now so I could just tell you guys how and why I got this car, because I mean back then, probably like about 7 years ago, I didn't even know about this thing or this thing existed. And I'm just gonna kind of share the story of how I own this and why I own this, so let's get into it. Okay, so the story starts over 6 years ago. I'm 24. The story started when I was 18. Okay, so it was time for me to get my first car. I didn't care what kind of car I had or what brand it was. All I cared was about being on wheels. I was 18 years old. Like, when you're 18 years old, you just want to be on wheels. As long as I had a car and could drive from point A to point B, that's all I cared about. So, you know, I'm just looking for anything I can get my hands on that's like $1,000. So that's what I do. Yeah, because my buddy Michael, he bought this it was somewhere around, it was a 90s Toyota Camry. You know, he got his first car, little $1,000 he paid in Compton. So, you know, I'm like, hey, where'd you get your car? Oh, on this street in Compton, California. I'm like, okay, for sure. I got $1,000. It's time for me to get a car. So I show up to the place. You know, it's all kinds of cars people are selling right there. It actually ends up being an auction. There was just some random guy selling vehicles also outside of the auction without, you know, all the fees or whatever. So I buy it from him. But how I got into this car was, I'm like, hey, this thing looks clean. It was a 1999 Mazda 626. I'm like, hey, this thing looks clean. I was like, does it run? Started it. It ran good. And, you know, I didn't know how to open up a hood. I didn't know what the oil sign was. I didn't know jack about cars. It looked good from the outside and it ran, so that was good enough for me. I didn't even test drive it at all. I just, you know, forked up the money and I drove off with it. And it's funny because as soon as I drove off with it, the transmission started slipping, literally, like not even like 2 minutes later. Yeah, it sucked. I was pissed. I actually brought my mom with me. I told her, I was like, hey mom, what like, why is the car doing that? Why is like because the revs were just going like, they were just going. And I'm like, hey mom, why is it doing that? And I didn't know what that was at the time being. She's like, oh, I don't know. And I'm like, dang, dude. I was kind of like upset because I was like, damn, what did I just purchase and buy? This was like a huge purchase. I just, you know, put it to the side. I'm like, okay, whatever, you know, I got a car, it's all good, put it to the side. And fast forward, I just started encountering so many problems with this car. I mean, you get what you're paid for, so, you know, I guess it's kind of fair in a sense. I didn't know how to look good deals for cars back then. I was a noob. I mean, you gotta start somewhere though, right? Yeah, I just started having so many problems with this car. This car like literally stayed at the shop. I was so pissed. Like, it was always something going wrong with the car, and I just kept getting tired of like having things to get fixed, taking it to the mechanic back to back to back. It was so annoying. Yeah, that was my first car. And then my buddy Christian, aka Stashcam, it was time for him to get his first car. I think he got his first car like a month or two after I did, something like that. I guess he wanted an E30. That's what he originally wanted, because his dad used to have an E30 back in the day, I guess, so he kind of wanted the same car as his dad. I forgot for what reason. I think he wanted something bigger. I forgot the real reason why. Maybe it was that, I'm not sure. But he wanted a 5 Series. Or I think a 5 Series just got presented to him. I think that's what it was. So he got a BMW automatic E34, I think 1992 525i, you know, the straight 6 motor. You know, he was happy with his purchase, and no lie, he did have a cool car at the time. I didn't want to say it because I was like, damn, dude, what do I have? And he was like, dude, my car's better than yours. I'm like, nah, my car's better than yours, but in reality, his car was better than mine. But yeah, Christian didn't even know that much about cars at the time being himself. I guess he met his girlfriend, and his girlfriend's dad's a mechanic, so he kind of worked there and then started learning things. Yeah, fast forward, I ended up living with him. We lived together. My car kept breaking down as usual, and then I'm just like, dude, I'm tired of this car breaking down. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna get the same kind of car as you, so that way, 1, I can learn off you, and 2, you can kind of help me since it messed up on your car. Probably the same similarities of messed up on my car, so that way it wouldn't be a problem, so we could fix it. So that was my plan. So, you know, I started saving up money. You know, I'm starting to look up like E34s online and stuff. I didn't want a stick shift one. I wanted it automatic because I didn't know how to drive stick at the time being. And it's just like, I don't know, just the thought of manual. I was like, I don't want to shift all the time. That kind of sucks. And real quick, it's actually the next day, so that's why I have a different shirt on and I kind of shaved, but let's get back into the story. So ultimately, I had my sights set on a 525i automatic, and I was searching online on Craigslist, and I found this really nice Calypso red one, and it looked really nice. I hit up the dude, and then it was a fair price. Everything looked clean. It looked clean in the pictures. And I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, hey, Chris, can you come with me? And he's like, yeah. And then we go, I get my money, I get there, And this guy already sold the car. I'm like, hey, you got the car? And then he's like, oh man, I just sold it, but I got a Mercedes right there. I come to find out he's selling a bunch of cars. And I'm like, dude, I don't care about no Mercedes. I wanted this car. I was really pissed because I was like, dude, I told you I was coming. And then I was like, all right, whatever. So I went home really sad, and it just sucks. And another week goes by, and on Friday I find this green BMW online on Craigslist. It just says 94 BMW, but it's the chassis I'm looking for. We get there, the car looks amazing and it looks like everything's maintained. We get there, we start looking at the car, and then we ask, can we pop up the hood? The guy goes, yeah, you can pop up the hood. And then we go, and then I look under the hood. It's a completely different whole motor under the hood. It's a V8 under there, and I'm like, this isn't your car. Like, this is like different from what I imagined. I was like, damn, this isn't it. And then Chris is like, oh man, you might have to go search another car. And I'm just like, man, I'm tired of searching for cars. I just want a BMW 34, that's all I want. You know, I test drive the car, the AC is working, everything's really nice, the car has power, and I'm just like, man, I never had a car like this before. Like, the car felt amazing driving. I was so happy. And then I was like, hey Chris, what do you think? He's like, I don't know, this is the V8. I don't really know too much about the V8. And then I started getting a little discouraged. You know, he told me, I don't really know much about it, but we can learn together. And that was pretty much the approval I needed to get the car. And then, yeah, I gave the guy like $1,500, pulled off with it. I actually got a video that I'll throw in right now.
So tell us your first experience with your new car, man. How's it feel?
Oh my God.
Just give it a hug, man. Just hug it. We're going to preview the new car right now. Ah. Alright, show me how to pop the hood, dude. Yeah, this is the wide grill. We got stock BBS's chrome. This is good-ish. You just gotta worry about the common V8 leaks. Let's go.
Common V8 leaks?
Yeah, come on, jump in. His first car. Thanks to my man Corey. See you later, Corey.
You wanna see how that works with all the windows up?
Yeah.
Did yours have a 4.2?
The blow? No, mine has a sport right there. The blower motor's cool.
Oh my gosh, the AC's. Oh my. What?
Roll all the windows up. You should have brought your camera.
I really should have.
This is a good car.
This is a good car? Oh my gosh. Oh my God.
Oh, hey, be careful, man. Be careful.
Ugh. Not anybody could just get in this car, dude. Not anybody could just get in this car. Oof. You got a bag of chips, you're not entering my car. I'm serious. Oh, no hard steering? No hard steering? And then long story short, I ended up buying the car. You know, I was in love. I was so happy driving that thing back home. It was like a feeling of just like relief. I was so happy. I remember just feeling like the man. I had like my music playing and the speakers were so good because like my other car was so crappy. It was so crappy. I hated it. You know, the AC was working. I felt like the man, not even gonna lie, I was really feeling myself. There was only one problem with the car, and it was that the car, it kept overcooling because I guess the thermostat was stuck open, so it kept overcooling the car. I mean, it was better than overheating though, obviously. I ended up fixing that like probably the next week or two, and then yeah, I just started learning off that car, and then like slowly but surely I started getting into cars. That's the car that got me into cars, the BMW 530i. You know, I was happy with it. I just wanted to keep hooking it up because I was really happy with it. I never had like a car like that before. It's actually funny because fast forward, I was like, man, I wish this thing was stick shift, but you know, my dumb self at the time being wanted an automatic, which is nothing wrong, but it's just like, I don't know, I started getting into like swooping up my car, so that's why I kind of wanted it stick shift. You know, I had the car for a while. I faced a lot of problems with the car, a lot of problems, and then I just started learning. I started getting the hang of it. I started like learning a whole lot of things I didn't know before. Fast forward, I think my transmission went out. I had to source parts, and you know, if the transmission goes out and it's automatic on this car, then if you're gonna get another transmission, you might as well swap it stick shift. So sure enough, that's what I did. I sourced all the parts. I kept working. I kept buying all the parts. I was carless for like about a month, but it was all good because it was going towards the 5-speed swap. And then yeah, did it. It took a while, but I ended up having a 5-speed after that, and it was like the best thing. It kind of sucked at first. I was like, man, stick shift is so stupid because I didn't know how to drive, and I remember I had to drive to work, and then I was so scared because sometimes it'll be like Ferraris behind me, and I'll be like on a hill, and then I'll just give it hella gas so I can make sure I don't hit that Ferrari behind me, because that would have been a sick scene. Sure enough though, I learned how to drive stick shift. Everything was cool, I was loving it, and then you know, I just kept like crashing in this car. People kept crashing into me, so I think that car's been in like 4 or 5 crashes up to this day. I mean, I sold it by now, and I love that thing. That thing was like my baby. Like, that was the best thing I had in my life at the time being. I think I was like 20, 21 years old. Like, that thing was like my bread and butter. Like, everybody that knew me knew I loved that car. And one day I got out of work. I had a crappy job at the time being. I was working at some warehouse. I absolutely hated my life. Yeah, I was fresh off work. I was on my way home. I was actually gonna go to my girlfriend's house, but I wanted to go home and shower real quick. And I was getting ready to hop on the freeway, highway, whatever you want to call it. You know, it's a red arrow, waiting for the light to turn green, and then the light turns green, but there's like 10 cars in front of me, so I can't even move yet. And there's a semi-truck behind me, and then, you know, the semi-truck just, boom, hits my rear bumper, and I'm like, I just got my hands on the steering wheel, and I just feel like, do. And then I look at my rear view mirror, and it's a semi-truck that hit my car. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have no horn, because when we did the 5-speed swap, you know, couldn't get the horn to work at the time, so I was just hornless, but I had a really loud exhaust, so I was just revving. You know, I stop what I'm doing, I get out of my car, I look at my bumper, and this guy just like rear-ended my bumper. It was all cracked, and then I'm like, dude, you hit my bumper. He's like, oh no, your car's fine. I'm like, no, look, you hit my bumper. He's like, oh, okay, pull to the side. So we pulled to the side. This happened on a Friday too, on top. So we pulled to the side, and we're just trying to exchange information. He's trying to like, hey, get an estimate and I'll pay you directly for it. Like, don't contact my insurance. And I'm like, I'm contacting your insurance. Like, I don't play that. Like, I'm not letting that fly. Like, you cracked my bumper. That was like the best thing I had going in my life at the time being. Like, I for sure want your insurance. And he wasn't trying to give it to me. I was like, all right, cool. Call the cops. Got scared. Gave me his information. My back low-key hurted. So I ended up going to my girlfriend's house right after. And then I'm just like, my back hurts. This guy rear-ended my bumper. It sucks. You know, I got this crappy job. I'm like, my life is horrible. And then I called his insurance. I put a claim. And then, yeah, we just kind of get the ball rolling. I talked to the insurance. They want to send someone out to come look at the car on Monday. Like I said, it's Friday. And it's funny because, like, 2 days later on Sunday, I went with my friend somewhere in LA, and then I went to go hang out with my girlfriend after, and I dropped my friend off, dropped my girlfriend off, and it was time for me to go home. And it was raining on the freeway really bad. My tires were really bald, but I was prolonging on getting tires because I was just like a broke 20-year-old at the time being. I couldn't afford tires, so I was kind of prolonging it, and I was driving home. It was raining really hard. I was on the freeway. I was in the fastest lane. I'm on my way home. There's this Infinity right behind me, like just like riding my tail. I look at my rearview mirror and I'm like, dude, why is this guy riding me? So I downshift, I go a little faster, he finally merges onto a whole nother freeway or highway, whatever. And then I look at my speedometer, I'm going like 80 miles in the rain and on ball tires. And I'm like, damn, let me slow down because I'm going way too fast. And then I push on the brakes so I can slow down. And as soon as I press on the brakes, I hydroplane. Keep in mind, I'm in the fastest lane and I just drift across all the way to the guard wall on the slowest lane, and I'm scared for my life. Like, I'm thinking like legit, this is it. Like, one thing that was going on through my mind was, damn, I can't even say bye to my family before I die, because I accepted death. Like, I was literally holding on to the steering wheel and I'm like, damn, this is it. And I started getting ready for my body to like get ready for impact, and I'm like, all right, let's die, let's do this, let's die. And I'm like, nah, dude, I can't die. So I started trying to do something with the steering wheel so I could stay alive. And then boom, I hit the guard wall. I'm really mad, happy, sad, angry, upset, shocked. Every emotion you can ever feel, I felt it at that time. And I actually have a picture. Here's the picture of when I crashed my car. It was a 16. Oh my gosh, I didn't know how to feel. I was like, wow. I remember telling myself, damn, Ish, I don't know how you're gonna bounce back from this one. You've bounced back from a lot of things, but I for sure don't know how you're gonna bounce back from this one. And I was really upset. I called 911, I got my car towed, and I towed it to Christian's place. I was staying there. And then that's when I actually made like one of my first videos or second videos on YouTube where like I crashed and then I was just fixing my car up. Like, if you go to like my channel and watch like my first or second video or whatever, it's just like me fixing my car up because I crashed in the rain, and that's how that came about. But again, this happened on a Sunday night, and then the people were coming to go look at my car on Monday for the accident that happened on Friday. So, you know, they call me, they're like, hey, we're gonna come. I'm like, damn, dude, my car's so messed up. And it wasn't even from that accident from that truck that hit me. It was the accident from that happened last night. And then they come and they're like, wow, our truck did all this. I'm like, nah, you didn't. I just so happened to get into an accident last night. And it sucked because I could have got way more money from the insurance had I not gotten into that accident. So, moral of the story, don't prolong on tires. And you know, the insurance company, they ended up trying to reach out to me, and then they tried to give me an offer of $2,100, and I'm like, dude, no way, what about my pain and suffering? Like, low-key, my back hurts. And then they sent me to a chiropractor, and then they were trying to settle with me because I think I could have got way more money out of them because I didn't get a lawyer. But that's a whole nother story. And then I tell them, like, hey, what about if I have any problems with my back in the future? And then they're like, true, we'll give you $3,100. I'm like, I don't know, I'm not willing to settle. I was like, I had another 1,000 on top, and I'm willing to settle. And then they ended up giving me $4,100. And then I quit my job. I don't know where I'm going. This is turning into like more of my life story than it is actually about how I got my car, but I'm getting to there, so bear with me. Long story short, I fixed my car. If you look on my channel, it's like the second video, so if you kind of want to see what happened after that, then go back to that video. I got that money, I'm working on my new better job, and then Christian sends me the link to this 540i 6-speed, because I've been wanting that car. Like, anybody that knew me knew I wanted the white 540i 6-speed. You know, that's the car I wanted. Since I had that 530i, I kind of learned like most of the problems that goes wrong with this motor, and it's just it's the same motor. One's a 3-liter, one's a 4-liter. So I was like well aware of all the problems, and then yeah, I kind of got a clean one. I mean, you guys seen in the video, if you go back to my videos, how when I first bought the car, and then that's how everything led up until this time. And you know, I'm pretty happy. I did this car right. I got it on coilovers because my last car was on springs and shocks. And this one, since it was nice and clean, I kind of wanted to do this one good. And on top, it was a 540i. This car is like damn near 300 horses. So, yeah, it's a fast car. You know, everything's good. I love it. That's kind of how I got my car. And you guys know the rest of the story if you've been following me for like the last couple years, I guess. How long have I been making videos? Like 2 years. And that's how I got my car. I'm just really happy on how my car sits right now because I got like all the M-Tech stuff on. You know, I got the wheels I always wanted, the coilovers, the car's tuned, I got a short shifter, lightweight single mass flywheel. You know, pulled the motor because it ran like crap. I mean, you guys seen everything, so everything runs good now. I'm actually like really close to taking on a road trip cross country, probably in the next 2, maybe 3 videos. Not really sure, but stay tuned. And you know, I'm trying to post every Sunday for you guys. I'm really like trying to stay consistent because I know like some of you guys want to watch videos, and during this road trip I'll probably upload more than once a week, probably twice or even 3 times during that week because I want to keep you guys like updated and stuff. But if you guys made it to the end of the video, that's how I got my car that I have now, and that's the story behind it. You guys, I don't know if you guys want to tell me how you guys got your car in the comment or what's going on. Let me know, I'll be glad to hear. And if you made it to the end of the video, I know it's kind of long, but thanks so much for watching. I'll go ahead and see you guys next video. Ish Visual signing out.